Hello and welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew, and today we're going to talk about just after the holidays. You know, it's kind of dawned on me just now that Forza or Halo Infinite is really truly the next biggest thing until literally February. Yeah, I mean, with what I've got right now, definitely, that down period, through January, whatever, till the end of February. I've got more than enough stuff to like keep me busy through then. To keep me busy, like I have more than enough content to play and experience and stuff. But I mean, basically, after Halo Infinite, we don't really have anything big until February, March. For the rest of the, I mean, until we kick off 2022. Now there probably is going to be some stuff in January, but February just seems to be like this packed month full of so many games. We get Horizon Forbidden West. We're going to get what was it, Dying Light 2 comes out then. We got Assetto Corsa Competizione gets the next gen patch in February. We still haven't heard anything about Crimson Desert, when that's supposed to be launching. There's we were going to get Saints Row, but that has now been pushed to August. Sifu launches in February, like the beginning of February. They just moved that date up. It was like the 22nd or something. There's just a lot of stuff coming out in February. Elden Ring. That's probably going to be the biggest game of February is Elden Ring. Horizon Forbidden West is going to be pretty big too. Definitely picking that up. So, yeah, February is going to be a pretty freaking packed month for us. So, I believe February is when PlayStation 5 is going to really hit its stride. It's going to come out with Horizon Forbidden West. Forbidden West is going to look amazing. I still am a little I'm still a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie, dude. I'm pretty nervous about Forza or Horizon Forbidden West. Just how that 60 the 60 FPS mode is gonna run. Seeing as that they are focusing heavily on putting this game out in the most beautiful way they can at 30 frames a second. I don't know, man. It feels like to me the higher the fidelity visuals they are, the more intense 30 FPS starts to feel. It really is just it's becoming so jarring to really experience things at 30 frames a second. That really just doesn't. I don't know. Maybe I'm in the minority on this, but for me, 30 FPS on high fidelity visuals is pretty freaking uncomfortable to play. Maybe it's just because I'm getting older and I'm just not as in tune with being able to do that, but I and the reason I'm talking about this today is because I put in WRC 10 today, and I was playing around with the modes, and I was like, you know what, man, I want to see this on the PlayStation 5, in the 4K the 4K 30 mode. So I flipped it over, and oh my gosh, man, the latency of what's going on in the controller just feels so off. It feels terrible. But then I put it over on the balance mode, the 60 FPS mode, and the control just all of a sudden feels extremely better. And the 120 hertz mode is just wow, like it feels great. So I mean, this generation, like the one thing that I really want to stress the most is being able to get that 120 frames a second on all three next gen consoles is probably by far the biggest the biggest improvement we've ever seen in a console space. We've never seen 120 frames a second on a console, and just the fact that we can now experience that, albeit at lower resolutions, of course, that still gives us a freaking an amazing opportunity to actually kind of see where consoles are going in the future. I believe wholeheartedly that this is probably like the last contained console experience that we're going to get. From this point forward, I mean, yeah, they could potentially double all of this in, 7 years or whatever. But in 7 years, doubling what we've already got right now, yeah, it's definitely going to be great. But I feel like these consoles right now, and with the 4K, phenomenon just barely starting to kick off and starting to hit a stride, and being able to actually have, VRR support, Dolby Vision, and all the other auto low latency modes on these TVs that actually really give us more of an experience. I would possibly be like, hey guys, let's kind of stretch this generation out just a little bit. Like I know what you're thinking, but at the end of the generation is when we really start to get those like really good looking games, and they feel a lot better, and things just are feeling better. What if we go that extra, 2 to 4 years after the 7 years? What if we go another 4 years? It seems like dev cycles are right around 4 to 5 years now per game. What if we say something like who was the first one to put out a game for the PlayStation 5? Let's take The Last of Us, Naughty Dog. Boom, that year, right on the cusp of the PlayStation 5, 2020. So if it takes them 4 years to crank out their next 4 to 5 years to crank out their next game, that would put it halfway or more than halfway through this console life generation if we do that at 7 years. So that next game is still possibly going to be an in between thing, with a last gen engine and things from the new gen engine. So what if they drop that game, 4 years out, and then they have another one in 4 years? I'm saying I think this generation should be anywhere from 10 to 12 years. We're not going to see really anything on new engines. I'm thinking till like 2024. Like these guys, both Xbox and PlayStation are at least a year or two behind on getting out the last of the last gen games. To be completely honest, I mean, this will be the longest we've ever went into a generation to where we're still getting games that are just a lot prettier last gen games. Neither one of these systems have truly kicked off kicked off using the new features that are built into these consoles. Right now, we're sitting here squabbling and complaining about Halo looks better or God of War looks better. Like, this is stupid. This is really, really stupid, guys. We haven't seen anything yet. Like, literally nothing. Not even Forza Horizon 5 is using true next-gen features. Aside from like the ray tracing, the same with Ratchet and Clank. I mean, aside from like the ray tracing and everything that they're baking into, last gen model or last gen engines. What I'm saying is, by the time we start seeing actual next gen engine games, is going to be 2023. I don't believe. Well, Starfield might actually be on a whole new engine. They did say they build a whole new engine, and this might be their next tech powered for Elder Scrolls 6 and all of these. I mean, we're just going to have to see. We're going to have to see what Starfield looks like when it comes out, and how it feels and how it plays. I do feel like that they have spent a lot of time, Bethesda, modernizing their tech. I mean, we're still on id Tech 7 when it comes to like Doom and stuff. id Tech 8 would be the next iteration of that engine that is made for the current gen consoles now. In my mind, when we start to actually see what these new consoles can really do, I think that things are going to be a little bit different than what we're experiencing now. I mean, as much as I want to be able to continue to see like 4K visuals and 4K resolution and all of this stuff, I think that it might be a good idea to temper our expectations for what the next gen has, because we've already seen Unreal Engine 5 tech at the Sony showcase, and that was running at 30 frames a second at 1440p, but it looked freaking amazing. And that's the thing, like we've all seen it on our 4K TVs. We've all looked at it. We all can see how good that looks. But if the limitations on that are 4K or at 30 frames a second at 1440p, if we want 60 frames a second in that engine, I feel like we're going to be at 1080p resolution again. I kind of feel that way. Yeah, there's going to be of course there's going to be like tricks and stuff that they can, like temporal injection and checkerboarding and all of these things that are going to be able to propel the resolutions higher for us, but I feel like that I don't feel like Horizon Forbidden West is going to be that showcase that we're looking for. I feel like it's going to be an in-between game. It's going to look great. It's going to look amazing in 4K 30. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, that game is going to look amazing. The 60 FPS thing is where I'm kind of a little bit worried about it, just because of the fact that just seeing the amount of stuff that we had to lose in Forza Horizon 5 and then gain more pop in, just for that to hit 60 frames a second. I mean, it still looks fantastic. It still looks amazing. Like, I still think that Forza Horizon 5 is probably one of the best games I've ever seen on a console. But at the same time, the stuff that we're going to lose in Horizon Forbidden West, oh man, I'm just trying to brace myself for. I don't want to be let down in any way, shape, or form. Like I already started this generation with the PlayStation 5 in a bad headspace. To be completely honest with you, I was already in a bad headspace with it. Due to the fact that it came out with less power, and we were hearing stuff like, "Oh, it's going to be 13.1 teraflops and stuff." I mean, I was so excited when I heard that. I was like, wow, man, I finally get to, kind of, get back on my little Sony or my PlayStation, bandwagon. And when they came out and they told us exactly what it was going to be, it just kind of left a bad taste in my mouth at first. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that. I can't believe they would do that. So I pre-ordered my Xbox Series X first. I was like, I'm just going to wait on the PlayStation 5. Like, I don't even care. Like, I'll wait till Horizon Forbidden West or something else comes out. I'm grateful that I bought my PlayStation, because it is a punching above its weight right now. It is. It's given me almost a identical experience in games like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Watch Dogs Legion. It's given me a pretty comparable experience right now. So yeah, that's fine. I mean, it's definitely punching above its weight, and I'm not going to say that it's punching above its weight. I'm going to say that last gen engines are holding it back. Last gen engines are holding the Xbox back as well. They're both being held back. They're not being able to fully tap into that power and like steamroll through anything because of the limitations of last gen game engines. Like, they're just once we start seeing the new game engines for Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 be fully really utilized, we're going to have better physics. We're going to have better hair and vegetation and everything. The simulation is going to be so much better. Car accidents, stuff like that. The amount of physics and just geometry changes are going to be like when you get in an accident and the car crumbles and stuff. It's going to be amazing. I remember back when, what was that? Burnout Paradise first launched. Okay, like when you would drive really fast and then it would slow down and you would see the car start to crumble. Like, now that looks terrible. Like, it doesn't look that good at all. But when I first saw that, I was blown away on that PlayStation 3. I was like, whoa, that is freaking amazing. But then you fast forward to something like Wreckfest, and then you see the physics simulation and that, how the cars just kind of like the soft body physics looks so much better. But then Beam and G, you look at the way those react, that is freaking intense. That's pretty. That I'm like, wow, dude. If they could get those physics into like, Dirt Rally or any of these rally games that we like to play or any of the racing games, wow, man, that's the stuff that I'm talking about being possible on the next gen console engines once they're fully realized. Yeah, we're still gonna have AA developers that are still gonna be using the Unreal Engine and stuff like that the best they can. But for the most part, like the AAA guys, the guys that really spend a lot of money, like the Rockstars, the Activisions, the Sonys, the Microsofts, all of these developers are going to start utilizing or building new tech, new engines to really take advantage of the features of these next-gen consoles. I mean, we haven't really seen VRS in action. We haven't really seen Sony's Geometry engine in action. Both of those I'm pretty sure they're going to be good. I know I joke a lot and say it's the checkerboard renderer 2.0. No, Sony's pretty smart about their tech, and their developers are freaking top-notch. Like, there's no doubt about that. We haven't seen mesh shaders on either console. We haven't really seen, the AI upscaling that both consoles are most likely going to have. We've seen fidelity super resolution. Come on, man. Come on. Like, it is, but it is whatever it is. As long as it gets you better performance, but I don't necessarily really think it's giving you that much better of a quality image. I tried it on Call of Duty Vanguard, and I was just like, wow, dude, I preferred it off, to tell you the truth. I just let my VRR kick in and handle whatever drops that game has. A game like Battlefield 2042, like the visuals that the new Frostbite engine is going to start pushing, like that looks pretty good, man. Textures, the way that everything is kind of blending in now. The same with Forza Horizon, the way that the edges blend now, it's so much better. Like before, you would see these sharp lines, or when a tree is sitting on the ground, you see this sharp line all the way around it. They're starting to be able to blend these environments so much better with the new technology, and being able to scan in real world data to give you more of a texturized, more of a realistic geometry in like the rock faces on Forza Horizon 5 and Battlefield and Call of Duty and stuff. These are the technologies that they're going to be able to bring to us, and they're going to look good. They're going to play good. They're going to feel good. I just really wish that Sony would move away from the 30 frames a second. Like, I get what they're doing right now with the cross-gen games. Whatever. They run at 30 frames a second on a base console. Might as well, make it as pretty as they can. I mean, Forza Horizon did the same thing with the 30 FPS. Might as well make them look as pretty as they can, but also give people an option to play their games the way they want to. My advice for Sony and Microsoft, for PlayStation, give us VRR support. For real. Give us VRR support. And then, instead of 30 FPS modes, just leave them unlocked. Let's see what our consoles can push. I mean, if it gets up to at least 45 frames a second, at least it'll feel smoother to play that with VRR. It'll feel smoother. It'll feel a little bit better. Are we still going to notice? Yeah, probably still going to notice, but at least we'll still be able to keep those beautiful visuals and have somewhat more of a better experience, just because the VRR will take care of a lot of that stuttery jutteriness that I'm starting to notice when it comes to higher fidelity visuals and stuff. I'm not a snob to the point where I'm like, I can't deal with like a few frame drops or screen tearing. I'm not that big of a snob. Like, I have seen enough stuff now on the Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 to where, yeah, dude, I am kind of getting a little snobby about that. Like, no, there's no doubt about that. But the fact that with VRR, I could play through a game like Tales of Arise on Series X at 4K, like, that was amazing. I never perceive any frame drops or screen tearing or anything like that. It felt pretty smooth. And that game is beautiful. Freaking beautiful. So that's my wish for Sony. Please bring us VRR. Give us support for 1440p monitors, if games are gonna, drop in resolution, in between, 4K and 1080p. It does give us a better ability to experience these at a sharper resolution. And, guys, let's get ready, man. This thing's about to kick off. Like, we still got a little bit of waiting time. We definitely do. But at the end of the day, it's going to be worth it, man. Like, we're not going anywhere. We're going to be playing video games in 2 years, 3 years, whatever. So what I'm saying basically is, let's enjoy what we have now while we're waiting for the next best thing. It is going to get better. So just relax, guys. Just relax. It's going to be there. So if you like this content, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. I want to be able to kind of do more stuff like this and, you know, kind of avoid the console war stuff. It is kind of fun, guys. I'm not going to lie. It is a little fun to give the Sony ponies a little hard time. They've been doing it to the Xbox guys. And, dude, I used to be a PlayStation guy. I used to bag on you Xbox guys too. Like, I used to. But what I've seen from Microsoft and Sony, it gives me hope for the future that we're going to get some amazing experiences. And, dude, I don't want to have to choose, man. So I just buy them both. I can play whatever I want on both of these consoles when I want to without having to freak out. And like, I don't have to take pot shots at Sony. I do it I do it from the heart because I'm like, hey, Sony, bring us some of these features because I want the PlayStation version to be good. I want the Xbox version to be good. And if they have to be parity, then yeah, I want them to run the same on both. I don't want the PlayStation 1 running better than the Xbox that's clearly more powerful. I want them to run the same. I don't want to hear any more of this console war stuff. When it gets to resolution, yeah, I still like resolution because I want to be able to... I like to see my picture. I like to see the clarity. I like that. That crisp cleanness is really good to me. I really like that. I really appreciate it. I know I rambled on. I'm sorry, guys. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. If you want to help this channel financially, go ahead and sign up to be a member. There's some pretty cool stuff in there. So if you like this, we'll see you in the next one.